Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This Cardinals Red Series sponsorship is presented by Chevrolet. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight we come to you from Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, a battle inside the National League Central Division. The Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. And this evening we honor the great number 2 Hall of Famer, Red Schoendienst. Along with my partner, the Mad Hungarian Al Hrabosky, my name is Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us. The first of 3, the Cardinals and the Reds. But of more importance to us tonight, we get a chance to recognize a legend in the game, a legend to our town and this organization, and that's the Redhead, Red Schoendienst.
70 years in baseball, all with the Cardinals, except for a couple years with Milwaukee. But I first met Red in 1969, started playing for him in 1970. He was a great player, a Hall of Fame player, a great manager, second longest tenured manager in Cardinal history, and he is even better of an individual and a human being.
One of the best people you'd ever meet in this game, and that's Red Schoendienst. His statue outside of Busch Stadium. More with Red is coming up.
Manager, a coach, a mentor, and above all, a leader. It was 70.
And then the hashtag #LoveRed2. It's the Reds and the Cardinals here from Busch Stadium as we get set to honor the Hall of Famer, Red Schoendienst. His career accomplishments: made his Major League debut on April 17, 1945, filling in for then Stan the Man, who was serving in the U.S. Navy. Played 19 seasons, Cardinals, Giants, the Braves, 10-time All-Star, managed the Cardinals to a World Series, over 1,000 wins, second most in team history for the St. Louis Cardinals. The Hall of Famer inducted in 1989, and now we send it downstairs to John Hewlett.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, Red Schoendienst. Red is joined by his family, Cardinals President Bill DeWitt III, Cardinals Senior Vice President and General Manager John Mozeliak, Cardinals Manager Mike Matheny, and Hall of Famers Whitey Herzog and Lou Brock. The team is presenting Red in just a moment here with a sterling silver century tray from Tiffany's, engraved with the number 2 patch logo that Cardinals players are wearing in honor of Red tonight, that reads 70 years in uniform and counting. The team is also presenting Red with a jersey from tonight's game. We ask all fans to join us this season in celebrating Red's 70th anniversary in baseball by showing Red and the baseball world that we all love Red too. Red Schoendienst, ladies and gentlemen, and his family.
Like we do, you love the man, and as Al said in the open, a better person than he was a player, and he was a Hall of Famer inducted back in 1989. Hashtag Love Red too to be involved with us. Scored against the Chicago Cubs, his major league debut. 70 years ago. Was 2010. The leadoff man in that game, his teammate now, Skip Schumacher. Meanwhile, on the other side, the youngster, Michael Wacha, healthy, trying to go to 2-0. Wacha, Cueto, Cards and Reds coming up. Is brought to you by Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of MLB. Enter promo code CARDS for free entry. Michael Wacha has faced the Reds more than any other team in the major leagues, and he's had good success against them. 2.15 ERA against Cincinnati in his starts against the Reds, and the lineup that he will face here tonight at Busch Stadium in Game 1 of this 3-game weekend series. The switch-hitting Billy Hamilton is yet to be caught on the base paths, 8 for 8 in stolen bases. Then Joey Votto, Todd Frazier, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, Marlon Byrd, their pickup for left field, Brian Pena, switch-hitting catcher, Zach Cozart, their shortstop, and the pitcher Johnny Cueto is batting 9th. On the mound for St. Louis, right-hander Michael Wacha.
You saw his numbers in his first start. It was a rematch last Saturday when Wacha and Cueto went head-to-head. He allowed 1 run, a solo home run to Frazier in the first inning, and then it was all shutouts and zeros. But Michael Wacha's throwing like he did in 2013, and I think the Cardinal fans are very pleased and happy for it.
A breakdown of Michael Wacha, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. That fastball around 72% of the time. We know about the great changeup. The curveball is getting better and better with each start. That's a look at your Hyundai pitch arsenal.
And Dan, we knew that when he first showed up, it was just a 2-pitch pitcher. The great changeup, the good fastball. But the curveball gives him something else to think about. He's also incorporating a cutter slightly in his repertoire now, so it's 2 more pitches for hitters to think about.
Switch hitting Billy Hamilton. A year ago he had 250 and currently hitting just 219. 1 home run, that was against St. Louis last weekend, 1 RBI. Carpenter is in on the grass at third, and the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway here at Busch Stadium.
Best way to attack Billy Hamilton is to throw strikes, and Walker's done a good job. Hamilton just 1 for 14 against him.
Ground ball right side. Nice play, Adams. To Walker for the out.
Nice play at both ends right there. Matt Adams, who we saw last year, has more range than most people might think. Goes to his right, knocks it down, but look at his pitcher is right there covering. You got a speedy runner going down the line. You better make sure you get over there, and Walker did.
Last Friday night, it was Joey Votto with a pair of 2-run homers off of John Lackey. 3 on the year, 9 RBIs, and hitting .353. There's no question about it. He is a huge key and factor if Cincinnati is to go anywhere this year.
Remember last year the controversy where he almost preferred to work on his on-base percentage rather than his slugging percentage. This year he's doing both.
He is very deep in the batter's box. Dealt with a knee issue, quadriceps issue. That tails away, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Votto, Phillips, Bruce, all were injured at different parts last year, and that's hammered out to deep right field. Hayward back, looks up, 1-0 Cincinnati. Home run number 4 for Joey Votto. On a 2-1 pitch, no doubt about it.
3 of his 4 home runs have now been hit against the Cardinals. Similar to the start in Cincinnati for Wacha, solo home run shot in the first inning, but he's got to stop it. He gets too much of the plate, right in the middle of the plate, down to a hitter's left-hand hitter's sweet spot, and Votto is not missing those mistake pitches anymore.
Missouri Lottery Fox tracks with that look, and here's Todd Frazier. Be interesting to see if there's any carryover from the game on Sunday. Jason Hayward had a hard slide into Frazier. Brian Price, the manager of the Reds, was none too pleased with that. Voiced it afterwards with the media. And with the teams, as much as they play each other, you just wonder about that carryover effect here tonight.
I think it's more that the Reds are just tired of losing to the Cardinals, especially here in St. Louis.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a look at Brian Price, second year as the manager of the Reds. They are 1-20-1 in their last 22 series played here in the Gateway City. one series win in the last 22.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the dominance. The Cardinals are so good playing at home, but they just destroy Cincinnati.
That's ripped into center, and again a pitch in the middle of the plate, and Jay dives for it, can't get to it. Frazier to second, he'll stop there. That ball was smoked.
Hit hard. I kind of put my head down and was surprised that see him out at second base, but as you've said, hit very hard, scoots on the surface here and goes all the way to the wall as it got by John Jay. He dives for it, it can't connect, but I think that ball surprised him with the speed it had on it.
Brandon Phillips batting cleanup tonight. No Devin Mesoraco in this lineup, who's dealing with a hip injury. They're actually carrying right now 3 catchers on their active roster.
And that's tough to do, but Mesoraco, doubtful that we will see him in the 3 games here this weekend, and they're carrying a 3rd catcher in case they need to put him on the disabled list or something happens to Pena.
He missed all 3 games against Chicago this past week. Ground ball left side. Carpenter across the diamond to get Phillips. Advancing on the play. Frazier from second to third. Look at the Cardinals defense. Frazier, by the way, edging down the third base line. Walker has words with Frazier. Now a little smile. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense. Holiday, Jay, and Hayward in the outfield. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Adams on the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate, and it brings in Jay Bruce.
The do factor. Jay Bruce 0 for 16 against Walker.
Hitting just .219 this year. He himself trying to have a bounce back season.
That's it. The Reds can throw a very explosive offense at you. They have some question marks in their starting staff. Their relief corps is in shambles right now, but they can put up some numbers.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Bruce last year hit .217, 18 home runs. He drove in 66. Career lows in average, on base percentage, and home runs. The 2-0 is tapped up the first base line, rolling foul. 2-1.
Walker having a little trouble with getting the breaking ball down. But you got to keep on working at it. What doesn't work for you early in the game may be your best pitch later on.
You may wonder why the struggles last year with Cincinnati. Votto, Phillips, Bruce missed a combined 176 games. Only 12 times did they have their opening day lineup on the field. So injuries really caught up with this club, especially in the second half.
Votto's such a big part of their offense, and I think psychologically in their clubhouse.
A 3-1 pitch, and he walked him. So a 2-out walk to Bruce, and it brings in Marlon Byrd. Paul Jocketty, the general manager of the Cincinnati Reds, said that he tried to acquire Marlon Byrd at the trade deadline last year from Philly. Fell through late, and then he got him this offseason to take over in left field. Now they've gone through 26 different left fielders since Adam Dunn left.
Well, I think Paul Jocketty is believing Marlon Byrd's may be the guy that stops that string, but we've seen him the last couple of years be that kind of mercenary that changes goes to a team that's in a pennant race. And he could be a very solid player to this offense.
Oh, 0-2. A lot of pitches up early on here from Walker.
And that's when Michael Wacha is at his best. You know, he's keeping everything down. He's 6'6". He throws in a downward plane. But when he can really throw at the bottom of the strike zone with his pitches, gets great movement.
Three pitches, and he strikes out Bird on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Joey Votto on a 2-1 pitch with home run number 4. Now up to 10 RBIs. Early lead for Cincinnati. Carpenter in his familiar spot of leadoff in this lineup, followed by Hayward and Holiday. Then Adams, Peralta, Jay, Molina, Wong, and Waka. Johnny Cueto, his third start this year, a .64 ERA. And his last start, the team took the loss. Cueto is 0-1. And he threw 89 pitches against Michael Waka that afternoon.
His 2 previous starts, he's gone 7 innings in each of them. So he's one of those guys that's an innings eater, 20-game winner a year ago. And I don't think the Reds are going to be able to sign him. He's a potential free agent, and I would imagine he will command a larger paycheck than what they can afford.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. A lot of big names are free agents after this year, and he's either 1 or 2 on that list.
Sometimes that can work to the disadvantage of the players if there's too many potential big free agents.
Here's an 0-2.
When Marvin Miller was the head of the Players Association, that was the one thing he feared after the Messerschmitt case. If you didn't sign a contract, you became a free agent.
Carpenter down the right field line. Fair ball just on the line. Bruce has a cannon, picks it up and fires into second. Not in time. Matt Carpenter with a pair of doubles for the game yesterday and starts the Cardinals offensively here in the bottom of the first with a double.
It's already his 5th double of the year, and it looks like he hits right on the chalk line. There you see the chalk flying. So they're luck for the Cardinals, and when Carpenter is the igniter, he'll set the offense in motion, and usually when he reaches base, he's going to come around to score.
Here's Jason Hayward. Brian Price, going back to the comments he made after the game on Sunday, he said he came across as with a high spike and a late slide. That's not good baseball. That's not a good thing. It shouldn't happen, and it shouldn't happen without a response.
All right, go ahead and respond. You just set your pitcher up that if he does respond, that he could be immediately ejected.
Obviously, the umpires
fines.
know. Yeah,
sure. And the thing what happened is Hayward was not anticipating the ball going to third base. That's why the late slide, and he was immediately grabbed Frazier and said, "You okay? You okay?" He didn't mean to do it.
Seen a lot of pitchers try to bust Hayward up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. He gets those arms extended. Big man, 6'5". That's when the ball really jumps. But he's been getting jammed a little bit, and they go inside on him. Hits it to the right side. Advancing Carpenter to third. 1 down, and in steps Holiday. Hyundai pitch arsenal for right-hander Johnny Cueto coming into this game tonight. And a look at what he did a year ago. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve. He's got it all, and they're all plus pitches.
Yeah, really good. And he's got an exceptional changeup. Got the good fastball. He can spot on both sides of the plate. You know, they said in spring training he left the club for personal reasons. His mother had heart surgery back in the Dominican. Left for about 2 weeks. Came back, picked up the ball, went out and just started dealing again. Didn't throw in between.
Infield in here in the first for Holiday. Gives you an idea what Ryan Price thinks about Johnny Cueto. 1 run, maybe enough, who knows. Holiday's been very good with runners in scoring position.
Most of the time when a manager will pull the infield in at this time, you don't think it's going to be a high scoring game.
0-2.
But you're really asking for trouble when you got Holiday up there, who drives the ball so hard up through the middle. He already has 3 game-winning RBIs in the young season. He led the league, or led the major leagues in game-winning RBIs last year, and has the highest average in runners.
0-2 pitch, just missed outside.
With runners in scoring position. So you really. You want, Matt, just be yourself. Go pick up that RBI.
One, 2. Foul ball. Talked with Matt before the game briefly about his event, Homers for Health, benefiting the kids in the area. A lot of money was raised in the off day Tuesday here in town. His wife Leslie have done a great job with that. All the players were involved in that evening as well.
Not only a leader in the clubhouse, but Cardinals are very fortunate to have a core group of leaders that know how to do things in the community. And Matt and Wainwright set that tone.
On 1-2. Make it 2-2. Matt Adams on deck. Frazier on the line and backing up, also trying to keep Carpenter close at third. Now he gets off the line. The 2-2.
Matt's seeing the ball well.
With Cueto, you don't have to throw a strike here. Deal with Adams, who's been struggling a bit. See if he challenges him. The 3-2. And a fly ball lifted into center. Hamilton does have a good arm. Carpenter will tag up. Here comes a throw to the plate. Couple of hops, and Carpenter popped over the catcher, and he's in there. A remarkable slide. We're tied up at 1. Acrobatic.
Is it a slide or a handstand? Hamilton has that good throwing arm. It's a strong throw right up here. If the catcher can hold on to it, Pena, he's safe, and he just goes over the top. You see Pena move into the line. You don't avoid those collisions now, so you end up going right over the top of it. Clearly stands on home plate, touches home plate, and the catcher doesn't have the ball.
Brandon Phillips, along with the infielders of the Reds, all were looking up at the video board here at the ballpark to see the replay. Then he made eye contact with Matt Carpenter, and gave him a little clap. So nicely done. What an amazing athletic play there from the Cardinals second baseman Matt Carpenter to tie this game up at 1. Holiday gets the RBI, his 6th. Dobbs tires. And Auto Center's defense, Bird, Hamilton, and Bruce in the outfield. Frazier, Cozart, Phillips, and Votto on the infield. Pena behind the plate. 0-2 on Adams. And a strikeout of Matt. And the first inning comes to a close, but not without some excitement. The home run from Votto and the slide from Matt Carpenter. What a tremendous of Matt Carpenter. One our score as we move to the top of the second. Here's another look at that slide by Carpenter.
Back tags up. You know, Hamilton has that good arm. Now it's a foot race. Ball beats him, but Pena can't hold on to it. Now that's a situation there that you can run over a catcher if he's in the middle of the lane like that. But you know, these players are conditioned now to try to do everything they can to avoid contact.
It's Brian Pena. It would have been very interesting to see both perspectives, or to hear both perspectives from Brian Price and Mike Matheny on that particular play.
You can't call that one dirty.
1-2 the count.
I thought last year, where they tried to avoid the collisions at second base, I thought they'd start outlawing slides at second base now. Take out slides. I guess it's going to be soon. It'll be at all three bases.
The 2-2, a ground ball hit to second. Colton Wong. Let's turn to Al Raboski's Toyota keys to the game.
It's real simple. You want to not walk anybody, especially Hamilton, and keep the ball in the ballpark. If you don't walk anybody and keep the ball in the ballpark, you should win ball games with the Cardinal offense. And you want them to be early, aggressive in the count. A lot of these pitchers want to get ahead in the count. The Cardinals have taken advantage of that, particularly Carpenter.
Cozart on the first pitch. It's it out of play.
By the way, Matt Carpenter now has got an extra base hit in 5 consecutive games, and that ties his career high. Already 5 doubles. Are we looking at trying to break his 55 he had in 2013?
1 ball, 1 strike. Waka and Cueto were matched up just last Saturday at the Great American Ballpark. Good cutter. That one down in the zone. Late movement.
Yeah, that's a pitch that he didn't have when he first got to the big leagues. But when he can throw a good one like that, put that thought in the hitter's mind, then they're up there guessing.
Out of play again. It is a huge crowd here tonight. Expecting over 45,000. Big crowd expected tomorrow for the Yadier Molina bobblehead giveaway. Still seats available for that, and seats for Sunday night as well. That's the kids' t-shirt giveaway. Up the middle, base hit, Zach Cozart. Third hit allowed by Waka.
Cozart's one of the guys that's had success against Waka. He's now 7 for 15. Here's another cutter, and he's kind of moving down a little bit. Stays down, but if you hold hitters to singles, you'll win most of those games too.
Some boos for Johnny Cueto. Fans remember the brawl in Cincinnati. Cueto right in the middle of it as he pushes that foul. Oddly enough, Johnny Cueto with 9 career bunt hits, most among any active pitcher.
That is odd. Don't think of him, trying to bunt for base hits. Probably sacrifice situations and just makes one perfect.
0-2.
Put your boy there. You get the defense thinking that they're going to be a sacrificing situation, particularly Carpenter, the third baseman, coming in, and the hitter swings away. Real key is he has to swing down on the ball. You don't want to hit a line drive and turn it into a double play.
One ball, 2 strikes on Johnny Cueto. Stabbed at it, and he strikes out.
I like that from Waka. Too many pitchers today, when an opponent is trying to give you an out, they just lollipop the ball down in the strike zone, trying to help them out. Elevate the ball. Elevate the ball. You see how difficult it is for him to hit down on the ball. Most of the time you drop your bat angle and you pop it up, but you elevate the ball, especially when you got the 2 strikes, 1 ball 2 strike count, and you can get the easy strikeout, and they don't get that easy sacrifice.
Now it's Hamilton. Some hitting lanes for Billy. Adams holding Cozart with good speed at first base, and Carpenter, because of the speed of the Reds' leadoff man, has to play way in on the grass. It's a good play by Matt Adams to take a hit away from Hamilton his first time up. Rightfully so. We talked so much about the speed of Hamilton. 56 steals last year, which was a Reds rookie record. But lost in that, he was also caught 23 times, and that led the major leagues.
Yeah, not the best percentage. Maybe it's right around 70%. But for a guy that with the speed that he has, you want to be closer to 90 rather than 70.
D. Gordon led the league in steals last year with the Dodgers with 58. He's now with the Marlins. Hit to Colton Wong. The Reds strand their third runner in 2 innings. We're tied up 1-1 midway through 2. Friday night, tied up at 1. We say hello to Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Danny, as you know, Yadier Molina got off to a slow start in the early going, and based on all that weight he lost, there were some that were trying to connect the dots. You know, weight loss tied to a slow start offensively. Yadi told me it wasn't a weight issue, it is a timing issue, and he says it was tough to get going because of the scattered schedule of the first week. He says day to day he doesn't feel any difference being lighter, but he does hope that it will help him stay fresher down the road. And by the way, since starting the season 0 for 10, Yadi has gone 8 for 19. So, Dan, I'd say it's pretty well locked in now.
Yeah, 5 hits, 2 RBIs in his past 2 games. Monday is 11th straight season opener, the most ever by a Cardinals catcher.
I'll be a little more of a believer when I see him driving the ball.
It's
all
early.
Singles.
It's early. Such a long season. I mean, you know,
he lost the weight for all the right reasons.
And you think about it, Al, in this town where every game is dissected, everything that a player does is dissected, and it's great because it means there's wonderful interest in the club. But you know, after opening day, you're starting to wonder, okay, what's going on here? Then he has 2 good games. You say, well, he's back.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, there's no doubt Cardinal fans wear every game, the emotions of every game on their sleeve. And that's why the players have to have that even temperament. Can't get too high after a victory or too low after a defeat.
Strike 2, John Jay.
Talk about trying to be aggressive early in the count. You know, these guys, by not being aggressive, they're hitting 0-1.
John Jay, back on April 30th of 2010, was batting second in the lineup against Johnny Cueto. That lineup that defeated, that Cueto defeated, was Schumacher and Jay, Pujols, Holiday, Rasmus, Molina, David Freese. Pitcher batting 8th, Tony La Russa at the helm. Brad Penny made that start. Brendan Ryan was at short.
Jay's 12 for 27 with 3 homers.
Lines it to short for out number 2.
Cueto.
Follow the Cardinals with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. High fly ball. Left field. Bird near the track and puts it away. So 1-2-3 inning for Johnny Cueto. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Quality, reliability, and value. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. A treasure. Red Schoendienst, as a player, his career with St. Louis. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 1989.
And people don't realize that Red also served in the military in World War II, but got an early discharge because he had a bad eye. And also then he had tuberculosis. And that was extremely serious. He said he used to lead the league in hitting every year. And then he'd get into the second half and have that bug in him, and it would just destroy his strength, and he just really struggled in the second half. And you know, how good could he have been? And people that have ever seen him shoot bird hunt, you can't believe he had a bad eye, because he's still, even at 92, is a crack shot.
2-1 pitch to Votto, who homered in the first inning. His story to the major leagues is remarkable as well, from Germantown, Illinois, and sleeping outside Union Station. Broken bat popped up into shallow left. There's the Cardinals shortstop Peralta. His connection to Branch Rickey after a bad day. He thought he was done. Rickey pulled him aside and said, "Son, you're going to be just fine. Go get him tomorrow."
The story about sleeping on the bench was he and his best buddy, Joe Linneman, came over from Germantown, and they had just enough money to get over to St. Louis and back across the river. And they went to a tryout camp.
Frazier with a high fly ball out to right. Hayward on the track for out number 2.
Went to the tryout camp. They asked him to come back tomorrow. They didn't have enough money, so they just slept on the park bench so they could go to the tryout camp the next day, and they both got signed. Red got the, if I remember right, as you see the patch the players are wearing tonight, but he got signed to the unbelievable sum of $25 a month.
Two outs, nobody on for Brandon Phillips. We still see him dress out before games, talk to players, sign autographs, take pictures, do the interviews. Amazing.
You talk to Red, you say, "What's the secret to your longevity?" He says, "Being around younger people." And that's why he's out here every day. He'll make his walk and his rounds in the outfield during batting practice. And he'll come up, change clothes, come up and sit usually in John Mozeliak's suite. But he's enjoying tonight with his family. And boy, is it a big family now. Got 3 girls and Kevin, his only son, but that family has grown to grandkids and great grandkids and everything else. And his lovely wife Mary, she passed a few years back, but boy, was she a winner too.
Phillips grounded to third his first time up. There's, speaking of second baseman that played here in St. Louis, former Cardinals second baseman Skip Schumacher told me last week one of the great memories, if not the best memory he had about being in St. Louis, was as a Dodger and getting a standing ovation in the playoffs. Here's a 1-2. Chopped up the middle. Peralta to his left, bobbles, and not in time.
That's a play right there that I'm sure Johnny Peralta will say I should have made 9 out of every 10 times.
Right on the number 2. extends the inning now to Jay Bruce. Bruce walked back in the first inning. Short lead at first by Phillips. That pitch taken inside. It's a spot, 1-1.
A lot of times right-handed pitchers have trouble facing left-handed batters. But when you think about Walker and how he throws with a great changeup, the cutter, the new one, a curveball, or his fastball, he can get you out. You see him just challenging here on the inner part of the plate. Michael Walker's one of those pitchers that knows he's going to go through this lineup at least 3 times, so he's got something in reserve. Yachty and he will work on knowing, okay, throw to first base. Phillips was leaning a little bit. The Reds are 12 for 12 in steals this year. There's Hamilton's 8 for 8.
Two and two.
The fastball's inside and then that changeup away. Get a lot of guys to just roll over on that pitch. Bruce didn't offer. Another changeup.
Ground ball right side on the outfield grass. Colton. Fan favorite for a number of seasons here in St. Louis, Skip Schumacher signing autographs. 40,000. Full day of baseball tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest and Fox Sports 1. Action kicks off the Cards and Reds 12:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. Then on FS1, back-to-back AL East showdowns. Orioles and Red Sox, Yankees, Rays. Also see that on Fox Sports Go. First pitch to Colton is chopped to his counterpart at second. The low throw by Phillips to Votto. One away. Mentioned the potential free agency coming up for Cueto. Some of the pitchers out there: David Price, Bartolo Colon, Jeff Samardzija, Giovanni Gallardo, Mark Burley. Zach Greinke, by the way, could opt out of his deal and become a free agent after this year. So he's in some pretty good company. 0-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Michael Wacha. Third strikeout for Johnny Cueto. Quickly 2 outs, back to the top of the lineup.
Matt Carpenter has played 51 career games against the Reds. He's scored 28 runs and he has 25 RBIs. 53 combined RBIs and runs. He leads the team right now in RBIs, runs scored. He is definitely a table setter, isn't he?
Well, you can take the speed of Hamilton, make that your leadoff man, and it makes sense. Or you can look at the on-base percentage of Carpenter and the runs scored. Another way to look at it from your leadoff position is Hamilton broke back but now comes in. And Carpenter is 1 for 2. Big crowd on this Friday night here in St. Louis. The fourth here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the T-Mobile game changer. What the Cardinals have done with the home record against a division opponent since 2007. Cardinals 44-20 since that time against Cincinnati. Milwaukee dominated Pittsburgh there for a while. T-Mobile game changer. Marlon Byrd, Brian Pena, and Zach Cozart for the Reds. Good breaking ball. Byrd struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning, all on fastballs, and the last one reached 95 miles an hour.
Well, you can think about that, as these at bats come about. The first time it was all fastballs. Now you're seeing all curveballs. Get a hitter that thinks, okay, you're going to throw me all fastballs, then you change up the next at bat, and then you still have something reserved for the third at bat. Cutter there, but because it was up and got him to swing at it, became very effective. Bird's talking to himself.
He is lost right now against Michael Wacha.
0 for 9 now after 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight, but there's a pretty good hitter that is really confounded. Can't figure out what to do. And helping out Wacha by swinging at pitches out of the strike zone.
So third strikeout for the Cardinals right-hander, and here's Brian Pena. He looks at a fastball and a strike. Pena grounded to second base, first time up, 0 for 1. Outfield is straight away and shallow. There's a breaking ball. Wong to his left. seeing more pitches now get down in the zone as opposed to earlier in the game from Michael Wacha.
Dan, sometimes you're overly strong and you've got to wear yourself down a little bit, find that release point. So if you can survive those early innings, then you get into a little bit of a groove. We talked in the first inning how he had trouble with his curveball too, and got away with a couple hangers. The ball's up, but now he's starting to zero things down. I hope. And when he throws down, that's when everybody talks about how difficult it is to pick up his pitches, square it up.
1-0. And Zach Cozart flies to John Jay. 1-2-3 inning for Wacha. Hayward, Holiday, Adams due up. The fourth rolls in. It's 1-1. And we check in again with Jim Hayes.
Dan, as you know, Jaime Garcia is on the DL with a shoulder issue, but there's some progress to report. John Mozeliak says Garcia threw to hitters today for the first time at extended spring training since going on the DL. He says Jaime threw 22 pitches unrestricted. According to Mo, Jaime felt good afterwards. Mozeliak told me the plan is for Garcia to throw 30 pitches on Monday, then possibly a 3-inning simulated game on Saturday. Mo says he's encouraged by Garcia's progress, but he cautions it's going to take time. He says, Dan, in many ways it's like Garcia has to start spring training all over again, but some encouraging news for Jaime.
Hayward with a base hit into center field. So essentially this would be like maybe the first 7 to 10 days of spring training.
Exactly, and then he could go out on a rehab and be at minor league level for 30 days. The interesting thing is if he comes back to St. Louis, he's coming back as a starter. You know, probably cannot be a reliever, wouldn't have the ability to warm up day after day or get warmed up quickly. When do you take out this rotation? They've all been so good.
Good question.
But it's a nice problem to have.
Here's Holiday. I said it in spring training. I've said it now a number of times when Hayward has been at the bag at first. He is a threat to steal. He's got good speed and runs well for a big man.
Had 20 steals a year ago.
Check on Hayward and Johnny Cueto, who picked off a Cardinals runner last weekend in Cincinnati. From a right-hander's perspective, may have the best move in the game. A lot of people think that he balks, but if he does, he gets away with it. He is terrific.
And it looks like the old Dodger balk move. And you know, a lot of times a runner will go on first movement. They kind of move their leg, the lower leg, a little slightly, and they start to take off. But then they're so quick to go to first base, you'll pick off a lot of runners and umpires.
Double play ball hit sharply to Cozart. The turn by Phillips to Votto. 6-4-3. Remember the rule changes this year. You can't have 2 feet out of the box. Man, whoa, there we go. Get it back in there.
For the most part, I think guys have complied extremely well.
Talked to an umpire's official at length today who's at the ballpark, and they feel the pace of play has picked up, and they're really going to try to stay on the players. Memos have been sent out to the players, and the small fines that they do receive, it's not going to make a dent on many of the salaries that players are getting today, but it is there to be a reminder. And a lot of this stemmed from the fact that they wanted to speed up the game because of what happened last year with replay, according to this individual I was speaking with. They just didn't want to have the lulls in the game. They thought it really took away from the enjoyment for the fans.
And it seems like this year some of the replays that have taken place, not as many, but some of them the other day, they had a 6-minute delay. We had one, I think it was in Cincinnati, that was quite extensive also.
Average time of replays this year has been 1 minute and 59 seconds. 1-2 the count on Matt Adams, who struck out on 3 pitches looking back in the first. Last year, 47% of calls were overturned. This year, small sample size, 42%. And that's a base hit the other way by Adams. Chevy Fox tracks. He went down to get it.
See the off-speed pitch, change up away. Good piece of hitting right there, just making contact. Lob serve over the shortstop area. Matt needed that one.
There's Johnny Peralta, going back to last season, trying to extend a hitting streak, which tonight stands at 11 games.
Had 3 at the end of last season, and he and Holiday have hit in all 8 games this year.
Ground ball to third. Frazier backs up and a force play at second. That sends us to the 5th. Pitchers have settled in. Walker back to work. 1-1. from Red.
People forget that at the end of Red's career, he was an outstanding pinch hitter.
There's Johnny Cueto, and the awards and the accolades and the admiration for Red just keep on coming, because it's about 7 or 10 days ago he was honored with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he spent a number of years with Milwaukee, and he's now in their Wall of Fame.
And what happened there, and that was the Milwaukee Braves, and I believe it was 57-58. They had an outstanding young team. Guys like Aaron and Matthews and Burdette and Spahn, but a great team. But they said when all of a sudden they got Red Changes, that team learned how to win, and he took them over the top, and they won in 57-58 if memory serves me. He also played a little bit with the Giants.
1-2 is popped up off the bat of Cueto, and there's Wong. One away.
Came back and he played, was a pinch hitter for the Cardinals. But I got to tell you a story about Red.
Right after this, hold that thought. 2 hours prior to every game, ice cream sundaes, free North Star ice cream treats while supplies last, and you can get that this Sunday.
My first spring training, well, Carlton was still with the ball club, and one day Red called me Lefty. And Carlton heard that and he said, "Hey, that's pretty good." It took him 3 years before he called that to me. Well, Red might have found out my name a little bit sooner.
Bunted in the air. Adams. 2 away. Hamilton retired.
Very first spring training I went to, 1970. This was back in the days when everybody had to stay at the same hotel. And my buddies back on the West Coast decided at 3 o'clock East Coast time to try and make a phone call to me.
In the morning.
In the morning. And so they couldn't find my name. So they called Red Changes at 3 in the morning to say, where's Grabowski?
What happened the next day?
I think I was sent down.
That's not the way to endear yourself to the manager.
Yeah, but I think he found out I was left-handed.
You sure those were your buddies?
Well, they were.
Base hit for Votto into right field, and he's 2 for 3. Looked to be a breaking ball, and looked like he pulled an outside pitch. Let's take a look with Chevy Fox Tracks.
Breaking ball, but it's got a little hump in it, stays up a little bit, and he's too good a hitter to miss that one. Get the ball down and maybe pounce it in the ground.
Here's Todd Frazier, who doubled into left center, and you see the numbers for Votto. Also fly to deep right. I would assume Red was a great guy to play for because he's so personable and would communicate with his players.
Well, Red was just, he treated you like a man. It was back in the days where everybody's on one-year contracts, and if you're doing the job on the field, he didn't care what you're doing off the field, as long as you didn't embarrass him or the organization. You were taking care of business.
Frazier pops it up. Well, it's staying in play. Carpenter near the dugout, and he's got it. Molina Wong due up. Bud Light present rallies before every home Blues playoff game. Join us for live music, appearances by Blues celebrities outside Scott Trade Center. Be there tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. to cheer on the Blues. It's Game 2, the Blues and the Minnesota Wild. Here's John Jay. Frustrating night to be a Blues fan during game number 1 last night. Hopefully they turn it around tomorrow. Almost hit John Jay, who's accustomed to having balls graze him and at times get him clean, but a lot of times it's just he leans in and it grazes him and he picks up a hit by pitch. Flies into shallow left field. Marlon Byrd. Next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right, on StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. Plus, with the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Cardinals tickets anytime, anywhere. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Yadier Molina. 1-1 down the right field line, and that ball will get down but foul. We're back at it again tomorrow. Homer Bailey and Carlos Martinez. Martinez very good in his first start. Nearly 10 strikeouts against these Reds. We'll come your way tomorrow, 12:30, with the What's on Tap and our Budweiser pregame show tomorrow. One and two, the count on Yadier Molina. Chased a pitch up and in, and Cueto has really settled in. That's strikeout number 4.
It's one of those guys that can reel off a string of retired batters. See a pitch right there. Yachty just helping the cause by swinging a pitch he has no chance of hitting.
Colton Wong. By the way, just a handful of seats remain for our evening with Lou Brock and Red Shandies. That'll be on Monday night, off day for the club. That's this Monday. We've actually added some seats and tables for fans to enjoy that. You see the love and admiration that Red has here. He's 92. He's still very sharp, and he's great in that setting along with Lou Brock. And there's not many organizations that can have these types of nights with the Hall of Famers. Everybody walks away with a Lou and Red signed baseball. Drinks down on the field. Picture with the 67 World Series trophy, which was the first time the trophy was awarded, by the way, was in 67. And then we'll come up here to the Redbird Club, have dinner, and at least a 90-minute Q&A with Red and Lou. Very, very special night coming up. That's this Monday. Cardinals.com/events. Just think about it. Red at 92, Lou all-century player, and those two together on Monday night. That is a treat. And a swing and a miss. A strikeout of Colton Wong with the fastball. Back-to-back Ks and 5 tonight for Johnny Cueto. Series sponsorship is presented by Chevrolet. Along with Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, our entire Fox Sports Midwest crew. Even Jim Hayes is here. Jim was double duty yesterday with the Blues and the Cardinals.
I know another great, real good friend and fan of Reds passed away this past March. Dear friend, 86 years of age, Joe Fleming. Joe was such a great guy and really a character. Judy, his wife, and Angel, his daughter, and grandkids, just, you know, one of the biggest Cardinal fans we've ever seen. And like I said, a lot of times he even was interviewed by Jim Hayes one time. It was with the passing of Stan Musial, and Joe Fleming was interviewed. But a lot of people would know Joe Fleming. I know there's a memorial service tomorrow, and hope you can attend.
Phillips on a pitch that's up. Lines it to left. There's Holiday. Runs allowed by inning. Both starts, first inning runs, and then he settles in.
And both times it was a solo home run in the first.
Jay Bruce has walked and also grounded out to second. There's the cutter that misses down and in.
Reds had an off day yesterday, so you know Chapman is ready, but they have some problems in their bullpen late in games. I'd have to say, the way Lackey pitched yesterday, the Cardinal bullpen's in pretty good shape for this weekend.
That was big by Lackey because the game before, every relief pitcher was used with the exception of Villanueva. 2-2, and the Cardinals did this last weekend with Jay Bruce. Once one strike was on him, they then used the shift. They used Carpenter from third base to second, keep Peralta at short. Long is on the outfield grass. Outfield and right is deep. That's Hayward.
That makes so much sense. Why move people, couple people out of position? You know, Peralta stays at shortstop. Carpenter, who remember did play second base and played well there. Third baseman now playing second, and then you play your second baseman in short right. A softball position, right?
Seems to be that way.
Still have to have your left fielder play like almost like he's a pull hitter from the right side.
The 2-2. Strikeout of Jay Bruce. 4 tonight for Michael Wacha. This Sunday, we know that kids love to cheer on the Cardinals, and all kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket receive their very own Cardinals baseball t-shirt courtesy of Pasta House and Coca-Cola. So buy your tickets right now. Good seats still remain for Sunday night. The kids t-shirt. It's Marlon Byrd in the previous 2 at-bats. Almost lost at the plate, but we know he's been around a long time and he could change that in a hurry.
Very good player. Never seen him look this lost. But you're right. You don't think you own him because he'll turn around and prove why he's a valuable commodity.
First at bat, all fastballs, 3 pitches, struck out. Last at bat, started him off with a strike with a curveball, and he chased a couple of pitches out of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But this is why he's in the big leagues. You make adjustments. We'll see what kind of adjustments he makes.
You can go through a stretch where you look horrible, but then all of a sudden you go on a hot streak. You can see they're obviously trying to expose him up in the zone. So you change up, you know, we really hadn't even seen him throw that change up. But you're getting him to chase pitches up.
The 2-2. Mention Al, the The fact that if Garcia gets healthy, where does he fit in? And we're a long ways away from that. But the Cardinals, the quality starts, I know that's your favorite stat, 6 innings and no more than 3 earned runs by a starter. They've been piling those up as Bird skies one into shallow center. Here's John Jay. He's under it and puts it away. Midway through 6. 1-1. Against Milwaukee, a day game against the Brewers. Cardinals take 2 of 3. It's a shutout, 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs by Lackey. Our BJC Healthcare difference maker, the most shutouts in the National League since 2012, and the Cardinals with 50. 50 most shutouts since 2012. Here's walk-up.
Might surprise a few people.
Some managers, many if not most, especially early in the season, will pull a starter. There's that quick pitch by Cueto to disrupt the timing of the hitter. But you've seen Mike Matheny go deep with Adam Wainwright in games, especially early last year. You know, you think about the first 4, maybe 6 weeks and what you do with a starter. Not all managers like to see their starters go all that deep in a game. Now, when I say that, what I mean is you want to see him go deep. However, you don't necessarily need to see the 8 or 9 innings. You'll pull them in turn and bring that relief corps in. And as they go deeper and build up even more, that's when you see the complete game starting to pile up.
Sometimes you have to consider whether a guy's coming off an injury. You know, did he have injuries last season? He piled up the innings like an Adam Wainwright. I think Mike Matheny's talking about I'm going to control Adam Wainwright's innings to some degree. I'm not sure Adam's going to agree with that. But like Wainwright said, he said, you know, I'm a big man. I'm a strong man. You know Lance Lynn is. And Lackey, even at 36, showed you that he's going to give you that quality start. And he's going to go out there and challenge people.
Johnny Cueto has struck out 3 straight and 6 in the game.
You know, Lackey's, I believe he's made 6 starts now as a Cardinal here at Busch Stadium. He's 3-0, and all 6 of them have been quality starts, and he pitched his best game yesterday.
Talked at length with John before the game and asked him about the conversation with he and home plate umpire John Hirschbeck, and he said just a friendly conversation. I said, uh-huh. And he said, actually, it was. He said, we were exchanging the non-pleasantries when I was on the mound. I questioned a few pitches I thought were strikes, and between innings we had a conversation and actually kind of laughed about it. He said, I have no problem with John. He said he's been a good umpire for a number of years, and he respects me, and I certainly respect him.
By the same token, you have the right to ask an umpire where the pitch was. If you think it was a strike and he calls it a ball, you want to say why. Where did you see it? And then, as you said, they did the right thing in between innings. You know, you don't do it demonstratively, but you have two guys that have known each other for a long time. This is the 17th year for Lackey in the big leagues. So he's been up against John Hirschbeck, a crew chief, many, many times. And so you talk it over and you can laugh about it a little bit and break the ice.
Just a big old Texan, John Lackey. Swing and a miss by Carpenter, and Cueto is locked in. Strikeout number 7. The UMB Champions Club was already Busch Stadium's hottest ticket, and now new for 2015. Fans can enjoy a third full-service bar, plus a new outdoor patio and expanded seating. So get your tickets at cardinals.com/all-inclusive.
And we're going to be there, what, on May 5th?
I believe so.
UMB Champions Club, that'll be fun.
Ball outside to Jason Hayward, who is 1 for 2. John Lackey is a 5-year-old boy, 3-year-old girl, and he said, what keeps me busy? He said, those two kids. He said, I pretty much have memorized Frozen, the movie, and I play a lot of catch with a football with my 5-year-old. He said it's really neat, though, because that'll find the seats that his 5-year-old is starting to understand a little bit that, you know what, Dad's got a pretty cool position. He's a major league player. He said after wins, I allow him to come in the clubhouse. Losses, nuh-uh.
I was going to say, after his win yesterday, his 5-year-old was sitting right next to him and didn't say a word. He was soaking in the atmosphere. And he probably got to meet Jim Hayes.
Probably.
What a thrill.
Can you imagine what a thrill that would be, being around the media after a game?
If you're not terrified.
Of Jim or the media?
And the media. Jim's the best.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Hayward. His base hit was a single to center. On the outside corner, and here in the 6th inning, Johnny Cueto strikes out the side, and that is 5 in a row and 8 in this game. 1-1 as we head to the 7th. fan too. Celebrate Blues postseason hockey at McDonald's. Get a Big Mac or Quarter Pounder with cheese for just 25 cents when you buy one at regular price on Blues game days. Huge crowd tonight here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup for Cincinnati. This is Brian Pena, the switch hitting catcher. The Cardinals looks like they're just going to start to throw in the bullpen. No activity for Cincinnati.
Pitch count up to 89, so Kevin Seagrass starts throwing for the Cardinals.
Good changeup on 2-1, evens it up. Pena twice has been out front, grounded to second base on that changeup. Three-two pitch, he jammed him, fouled back.
To the championship years. The logo on one shoulder, and those are the championship years. All 11 of them, waiting for. She's got more room, doesn't she?
Ground ball that's hit to short, backhanded by Peralta. Low throw at the stretch by Adams. Zach Cozart 1 for 2. The cutter misses away. Cozart with a single to center field, also fly to center. Chopped off the plate. Tough play here for Walkup. And he throws it away. Cozart to second base.
No advised throw there. You can understand why you're in a game like this, that you want to do a little too much, but a swinging bunt, flat-footed, doesn't take the crow hot because he doesn't have anything behind it. So Adams tries his best to try and spear that ball with a runner coming down the line. And now Cueto will come up with the runner in scoring position. Good time for Molina to come out here and not only talk to Walker, control him, but go over the infield defense, what they want to do here. What are the Reds going to do with Cueto? Tim Riegelman talking to the Reds pitcher, Mike Matheny.
Be a single and an error. And I'm sure he's asking about Cozart being outside the baseline.
Right-handed batter almost has to start in on the grass running like this. Then he's got to get back into the running lane. But it's one of those things where you're automatically going to be in the grass, especially when you're swinging the swinging bunt like that. But you could make a case he never did get in the baseline. So we'll see. They're going to challenge this, and it doesn't look like they are. Is that challengeable? Nope. Question to me is why not?
So here is Cueto. Third baseman Carpenter in on the grass. Adams even with the bag at first. Cueto here, and then Hamilton on deck. Beautiful bunt. Cueto just hustling down the line. So the sacrifice is good. A reminder that Saturday, June 13th, Busch Stadium hosts the 11th annual Purina Pooches in the Ballpark Day. Come downtown, enjoy a ball game with man's best friend beside you. Limited number of tickets are on sale now at cardinals.com/pooches. So the sacrifice is good, and a big at bat here for Billy Hamilton, the switch hitter. For 8 with runners in scoring position this year.
Probably the last batter that Walker will face tonight. So make sure you get him.
Strike one.
And that's the best thing you could do. Go out there, attack the strike zone, get ahead in the count. Give yourself a chance to get the victory.
Oh, and 2. What do you do with an aggressive young hitter like Billy Hamilton here?
You got the changeup, is his best pitch. We saw how how Wainwright attacked Billy Hamilton with the curveball, but he's in the driver's seat. 0-2. Good pitch. Was a ball just off the plate, but trying to get him to bite.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Slapped foul.
Saw when Molina came up as he tried to throw the fastball up and get him to swing through it. Got to throw it a little bit higher. Hamilton does have 1 home run, and that was against the Cardinals this season. But what they're trying to do there is get either swing or miss, pop up, elevate it again.
And a fly ball to left. Holiday over near the crowd and reaches in and makes the catch. Nicely done from Matt Holiday. Time to stretch. 1-1. Off middle of the lineup for St. Louis. Good ball game here at Busch Stadium. Kia in the driver's seat. Holiday off to a good start, and here's his rank since April 16th, his debut of 2004. Not too shabby. He mentioned to us in spring training a real key for him this year He always believes the numbers will be there, but he wanted to get off to a good start, and so far he has done that.
Yes, he has. He's always been noted as a great finisher. Tremendous second halves, but if he can put together a good first half, and you're looking at a guy that could be an MVP.
Cueto has struck out 5 in a row. 8 total here tonight, and the 1-0. Reminder, this is the Gateway Honda home run inning. If a Cardinals player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Holiday, the lone RBI for the Cardinals tonight. 6 on the year.
Cueto struck out 5 consecutive. Cardinals, that ties a career high. He's done that twice. Time for Matt to break that one up.
The 2-1. And a base hit into right. Cueto went with the Louis Tiant look towards home plate. And Holiday greets him with a single into right on the previous pitch. How did we get here? If you're just joining us, first inning, Joey Votto and no doubter. Into the seats in right center. Cardinals then tied it up, and watched this slide from Matt Carpenter. More of a somersault. Athletic play. Adams with a single to left. Last time up, also struck out looking in the first.
And the reason you say an athletic play, because in your mind you're going to come in feet first or try and run around a tag, and then to try and alter and go over the top with the somersault, you have to be pretty athletic in order to do so and not hurt yourself.
Base hit by Holiday. Breaks the string of 7 straight set down by Johnny Cueto.
Holiday also extends his hitting streak to 9 games, all 9 games played this year.
Two and 1 the count. Pitch count very efficient, even with the 8 strikeouts for Cueto. Usually you see the high strikeout totals. More times than not, that means a high pitch count, but not in this case.
Because he has no walks.
2 and 2. Plaza Tire Service replay. The Fox tracks. 2 and 2 the count. See if he wants to go back up in the zone. Set up away. Another quick move by Johnny Cueto.
Matt Adams' favorite opponent to hit home runs, in my mind, has to be Cincinnati.
Adams pops it up. Left field. Out of play. Mention how Cueto is one of the best in terms of pickoffs from right-handed pitchers. Burnett, Shields, Dickey, Verlander, then Cueto with 23. The current leader among any pitcher active is Mark Burley with 99. This may surprise you a bit, knowing the recent history of John Lester, but among left-handed pitchers, he's 4th best in pickoffs with 28.
It would be very surprising, considering that last year he never threw to first base, and Cardinals ran wild on him, and that's kind of the talk about baseball is Lester doesn't throw to first base, so he must have had a good move and lost it.
Well, he did the other day, and he threw it into the seats. The 2-2.
Another reason why he stopped picking off people.
Strikeout of Adams. So that is 9 tonight for Johnny Cueto. So Cueto 6 1/3, 9 strikeouts. His career inside the NL Central and outside of Cincinnati in this division. A high ERA, and again, Johnny Cueto has not won against the Cardinals at this ballpark since 2010. Peralta breaks his bat down the left field line. This may drop, and it does. And it gets past Bird. Holiday on his way to third. Peralta to second. That may be the break the Cardinals need.
And in a game like this, usually some team makes a mistake. Walker was able to pitch around his errant throw, and somebody is going to take advantage. But here he shatters the bat, but he muscles it out there for his 12-game hitting streak. The ball gets by Bird, and that puts runners at second and third with just one out.
He did not come in aggressively on that ball either, out in left field, and it drops, and Holiday winds up at third base. So the Cardinals have runners at second and third, only one out, a meeting on the mound. And Brian Price is saying, this is all your game, Johnny Cueto. You've gotten us here. You've earned us.
Well, they've had problems in their bullpen, especially late, and can't get to Chapman. If Chapman's put on the mound, they're comfortable, but they've lost two big leads, or two-run leads in the 8th inning. It's only the 7th here, but their relief corps is a little bit in shambles. John Jay, who's hit Cueto very well prior to tonight, has a chance to break it open. And they're going to intentionally walk him to bring up Molina.
I'm sure part of their thinking is what you were talking about earlier. We haven't seen Yadi drive the ball as much. Again, it's early, small sample size, and the other aspect of this, the double play.
Exactly.
Jay, by the way, had lined out and also flied out, but hit the ball hard a couple of times.
John Jay came in 12 for 27 with 3 home runs against Cueto, so you can understand why they're taking the bat out of his hands. And as you said too, that if Cueto can get a ground ball off the bat of Molina, it's a double play. So
inning started with a single by Holiday. Peralta winds up at second thanks to Marlon Bird. The intentional walk to Jay, and listen to this crowd for Yadier Molina.
Standing ovation.
Molina, base hit. Yes, it's fair. 1 run scores. Make it 2. What about 3? Here comes Jay. Relay to the plate. He cleared the bases. St. Louis breaks open on Cueto.
Remember I said earlier, I'll be a believer when he drives the ball. Well, he just drove the ball into the left field corner and cleared the bases. Nice throwing, Yadier Molina.
Ball 1 to Colton Wong. Maybe the loudest this stadium has been all year. The first homestand of the season thanks to Yadier Molina.
Michael Wacha's happy about this. Looks like his night is through. As Wacha looking out there, Seagrass continues to throw, and Votto, the first hitter, you'd have to think that Kevin is coming in.
Reaction of Yadier Molina after his bases clearing double.
Love to see that.
3-0 on Cold Wong.
Cueto has struck out 9 Cardinals for the first time tonight. His career high in a game is 12. He's done that twice, 4 times last year against Pittsburgh and Los Angeles. How big would this be? You steal this first game. See, Mark Reynolds got his first RBI yesterday as a Cardinal.
3-2 pitch to Wong, and Cueto comes back from 3-0 to strike him out. 10 tonight for Johnny Cueto.
Cut right there, started away. 10 strikeouts, but they sent up their best against the Cardinals to open this 3-game series this weekend, and the Cardinals can steal this one. That puts another little nail in the coffin.
So Reynolds pinch hitting for Michael Wacha, and there's strike one. Little jam shot to second. Phillips makes the play. Molina 65 ribbies in his career against the Reds, second most against any opponent. How'd we get here? How about Matt Holliday? And then their trouble in left with Marlon Byrd. Holliday came around to score. So did Peralta. As did John Jay. Molina, huge base hit. Bird's on top. And welcome back to Cardinals baseball. Let's go to our studio at Ballpark Village and a Bommarito Sports Update with Pat Barris. Better days ahead for that young man, no doubt, as Kevin Segrist is our Chevy call to the pen. I thought his last appearance has been the best we've seen him so far this year, whether it be the 4 appearances, regular season, or spring training.
I thought late in spring started getting a little more consistent, throwing more strikes, and I totally agree with you with the last outing.
Here's Joey Votto. Fastball from Siegrist misses low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Votto, Frazier, and Phillips.
Yeah, coming off the arm problems he had last year and trying to speed up his delivery, had a lot to work on in spring.
Even though we're in the 8th inning, no Jordan Walden to begin this inning, and Seth Maness is throwing in the pen. Here's a 2-1 to Joey Votto. Good cut, fouled it back. The Hyundai pitch arsenal. This is last year for Kevin Siegrist. Such a good fastball.
I think kind of throw those numbers out. We go back and remember 2013 where he was almost unhittable. .46 ERA. Didn't matter if you were left or right, he could get you out. Mike Matheny has a lot more flexibility in his bullpen this year with guys that can get hitters left and right, and also guys that can throw multiple innings. We haven't seen it yet, but we will.
Here's a 2-2. Maybe wondering why not Jordan Walden. Well, last 6 games he has pitched an awful lot. Matter of fact, take it back to 7. He's pitched in 5 of the 7 games and in 2 games back to back. So Walden gets the night off, presumably.
Well, you can say the same thing about Seth Maness. He's been that busy guy, but I think he has more of a bounce back arm.
Not getting the outside corner and a leadoff walk. Mazda game summary. Let's take a look at what's taken place in this game. 4-1 St. Louis. Cueto, really good job. Ran into trouble last inning. 10 strikeouts tonight. He allowed 6 hits, and Michael Wacha matching him. 4 strikeouts, but 7 innings. Here's Todd Frazier. The only thing I would say about Maness is that when you look at Walden, more of a max effort type guy.
Yes.
And Maness, you know, the good sinker, a little different approach in how they get guys out, but both have been successful. And you're right, Maness has thrown an awful lot here early going. That's bounced and blocked by Molina. One pitch to Frazier. Late with that swing, 1-2. Well, Kevin Siegrist was right a couple of years ago in 2013 when he posted the .5 ERA. You didn't worry about matchups late in games. Lefty, righty, and that's the kind of weapon he can be out of the pen, and the kind of weapon he's being used as right now. On the inside corner. So didn't get that pitch against Votto, but he does against Todd Frazier on the other side of the plate.
And that's Frazier now 0 for 3 against Siegrist with 3 strikeouts. We also have, the reason Kevin's still in here is you got Jay Bruce you're concerned about at the on deck circle. Brandon Phillips is 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts against Kevin.
Liner caught on to first, not in time. Votto back to the bag. 2 down.
Liner, but Kevin broke the bat Phillips with that pitch.
So here's Jay Bruce, who is walked, grounded out to second, and also called out on strikes back in the 6th.
1 for 8 with 2 strikeouts against Segrist.
Hit sharply to third, positioned perfectly. Carpenter across the diamond. He goes, and Segrist gets out of the inning. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on all our new 2015 vehicles today. And play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of MLB. Enter promo code CARDS for free entry. Just an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball. The Cardinals and the Reds opening up a weekend set here at Busch Stadium. And the Cardinals have a lead of 4-1 as J.J. Hoover takes over for Johnny Cueto, who struck out 10.
Hoover making his 4th appearance. Our Chevy called to the bullpen.
Oh, 0-2 on Matt Carpenter. Carpenter with a double. His fly to center and struck out in the 6th. Base hit. What a job of hitting there by Carpenter. He's thinking 2 again. And for the 2nd consecutive day, Matt Carpenter with a pair of doubles in the game. Cardinals 7 straight games, scoring 4 more runs. They were 68-19 when they did that a year ago.
Breaking ball, just a real defensive swing. Kind of uses his hands to guide it and throw it out towards left field.
Jason Hayward.
And again, that's 7 consecutive games the Cardinals have scored 4 runs or more. Last season they had a string of 10 games where they scored 4 runs or more. And when they score 4, they're going to win.
Foul ball. talked a lot about the power of Jason Hayward, whether or not we'll see that this year. Over the course of 6 months, we'll find out. What we have seen, though, is only one walk from Hayward this year. He's been a high on-base percentage guy the last couple of seasons, and for the most part in his career. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Hayward with a high drive into deep right, but that'll stay in the ballpark. Over to get it on the track, Bruce. And Carpenter tags up from second to third. So again, Hayward able to advance Carpenter after a double. He did it in the first and now does that here in the 8th.
Set up Holiday for another sacrifice fly at the very least. Field in with Holiday at the plate. Boy, they know how tough it is to come back from a 3-run deficit. This run make it awfully tough if Matt can score another.
Brian Bryce was talking in the spring training about J.J. Hoover, who had a very tough season a year ago. They want to see him in particular improve against left-handed pitching, but you'll see him go down and away to the right-handers. They set up down and away here. He hits his spot, doesn't get the call. 2 balls and no strikes.
And if your strength is going down and away, even if that pitches to the strength of a Holiday, who is a low ball hitter, you still have to believe your stuff is better than his.
Right-handers had only hit around 200 for his career against him. And again, he goes down and away. The lefties, though, were over 350.
And that makes it tough, because unless you're facing a guy like Matt Holiday, you know, an everyday player, you're facing left-handed batters, whether they're a starter or somebody you pinch hit for.
And he walked him. Runners at the corners for Adams. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Here, Borges is running for Matt Holiday.
This may be the matchup that Adams would get and take advantage of, because of what I just talked about. Hoover struggling with lefties, and Adams at times in his career, young career, crushing right-handed pitching.
He is 2 for 7 against Hoover with 3 strikeouts. But you're right, he makes a bad location, Matt can lose it.
First pitch to Adams, inside. It seems to be Borges' role primarily as a pinch runner, late defensive replacement, which he'll be in this game. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Adams. 2-0. Peralta on deck.
7 of Matt's 35 career home runs have come at the expense of Cincinnati pitching. Keeps on working in. When you fall behind the count, you make the hitter even more dangerous.
The 2-0 to Pennsylvania native squaring off here, Matt Adams and Hoover, who hails from Pittsburgh, PA. Two-1. Popped up behind home plate. Out of play. 2-2 the count. Borges, not sure if he was just trying to disrupt the pitcher or didn't get a good read, but took about a hard, almost looked like he was getting that jump and then didn't feel comfortable and went back to the bag.
That's the way I read it, that he was going, but like you said, didn't feel real comfortable, so he came back. Might have disrupted Matt's timing more so than Hoover's.
The 2-2. Adams hits it hard to second and past Phillips and into right field. A run will score. Borges on his way to third. A hard hit ball, and Brandon Phillips, a former Gold Glover, couldn't come up with it, and it's 5-1 St. Louis.
That's a four-time Gold Glover at second base. Brandon Phillips went down on a knee and maybe got committed to it. And then when it took a high hop over his glove, he had a hard time adjusting and stopping the ball. He's down on a knee, but you see it comes up. He's almost committed, thinking he's going to smother it, and then with a high hop, it goes high over his glove and shoulder, and another error.
Tonight, the defense has let down the Reds. He picks that. That's a double play, and they're out of the inning. Peralta with a fly ball, lifted into right, over to get it. Jay Bruce near the line, makes the catch. Borges will tag and score, and that makes it 6-1. Peralta picks up his 7th RBI this year.
7 RBIs, that ties Matt Carpenter for the team lead. Holiday's at 6. Molina with his 3 RBIs is at 6 also.
Two outs. Here's John Jay. They'll play behind the runner, with the Cardinals leading by the score of 6-1. Not a save situation. Rosenthal was up and throwing, and now he has a seat.
And with how much he's thrown, you wouldn't think he'd be coming into a game with a 5-run lead.
Little bouncer to short. Cozart will step on the bag. The Cardinals picked up 3 in the 7th, 2 here in the 8th. We're off to the 9th. 6-1 St. Louis. Very entertaining ball game. Thank you, Pat. Looking forward to the post-game show with you and Rick. Kevin Segrist stays in the game. Peter Borges takes over in center field, and John Jay moves from center to left. Tough night for Marlon Byrd. He'll lead things off here in the ninth. That's out of play down the right field line. Interesting to see how Mike Matheny wanted to play this ninth inning. Non-save situation, so you sit down Rosenthal. You've had a bullpen that's been used a lot. You wouldn't think with 2 innings tonight that you would bring back Segrist, and primarily Randy Choate is used only to get a Jay Bruce or a Joey Votto out. So we'll see how it all plays out tomorrow in game number 2.
Well, I think Mike does have confidence in some of the right-handers that can get lefties out too.
Strikeout for Segrist. We turn to our Budweiser play of the game. He twice now has been matched up with Johnny Cueto, and twice he has fared quite well. Our Budweiser player of the game, the starter for St. Louis, Michael Walkup. Ryan Pena with 1 out, nobody on.
One of the real keys, Dan, if you're a young pitcher, is you don't look at it so much a matchup against Cueto. You're matched up against the Reds offense, and you stop them, then you have confidence that your offense can get you the runs you need in order to win against their ace. And obviously Michael Wacha is very tough mentally. We saw that in 2013 when he came to the big leagues and did so well in postseason MVP.
Here's a 1-1. Ground ball to first. Adams takes it himself. 2 down. This has been a night that we have honored Red Schoendienst. We've asked for your tweets. Cardinals.com. And one of those with the hashtag LoveRed2. 70 years and counting in baseball. Red Schoendienst's love of the game and loyalty is an example to all in Major League Baseball. Congrats, Rob. That's Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball. Nice to see. Thank you, Commissioner. A chance for all of you to see Red on Monday night here at the ballpark. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/events. Blue and red on Monday night. Final hope is Zach Cozart. Ground ball off the glove of Carpenter and into left field. So Cozart extends the game and the inning with a base hit with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth.
3 hits for Cozart tonight. Wonder why the Cardinals have dominated against the Reds here. Well, the Redbirds have scored 5 runs at home versus the Reds in 9 of the last 13 games.
Christopher Negron is the pinch hitter. He's 1 for 8 this season. We have a Hungo Award coming up in the post-game show. Pat and Rick will take you through all the highlights around Major League Baseball that's coming up. First pitch, a strike. Fielder's indifference for Zach Cozart.
That funky swing.
Oh-2 pitch from Segrist. Here's a 1-2. Watch out. Negron is saying it hit him, trying to sell that to the home plate umpire.
Well, they need base runners, so anything you could do to add one more out there, extend the game. Smart thinking. And now Brian Price may try to further sell the point.
That hit him.
It hit the sleeve. Yes, it did.
Sure did. By the way, this is a reviewable play, and you'd have to assume that Negron gets first base. That'll extend this ball game. Just caught the sleeve.
After seeing that replay, I don't think Negron did sell it very well.
Right away, he picked up the bat. It's okay, no problem. Shouldn't take very long. We had one replay and it showed it hit him.
Saw the sleeve just move.
Right call is made. 2 runners on.
And that's the whole key. Try to get plays right. Umpires do a good job, but they make split-second decisions. It's like he turns into it ever so slightly and just grazed the uniform. After a brief visit from Derek Lilliquist.
In steps Billy Hamilton. Cardinals leading 6-1. Two outs, 2 on. Here in the top of the 9th. Homer Bailey and Carlos Martinez tomorrow afternoon. Game 2 of this series.
I'd say Villanueva back up Martinez.
And again, the Reds down to their final strike.
Mike Matheny also wants to start extending guys like a Segrist, like Manus, Belisle. Those guys could all throw multiple innings out of the bullpen.
0-2 to Billy Hamilton. He's right on it. Cardinals get 7 innings tonight from their starter Michael Wacha, and Seager's trying to record the final 6 outs.
Problem is you've gotten Rosenthal up for a second time, just in case this one gets away. Pretty good hacks.
The 1-2 to Hamilton. That should end it. It does. A called third strike, and the Cardinals win it by the final of 6-1.
Very good game right here. The Cardinals made a statement against Johnny Cueto and the Reds. Their ace goes down twice in a week to Michael Wacha and the Redbirds. Good ball game, great crowd, great atmosphere.
What a fun night here at the ballpark. evening that we honored the Hall of Famer Red Shandies, inducted back in 1989. Anniversary of his 70th year in Major League Baseball. Post-game show comes your way next.